He was destined for greatness from the moment he stepped into the octagon, a prodigy who became the youngest champion in UFC history, a fighter whose technical brilliance was matched only by his personal demons, a man who dominated 2 weight classes while fighting battles both inside and outside the cage.
And the elbow. Spinning elbow. It stops you because your knee buckles
so far out that he can't.
This man may really be the greatest of all time.
I worked really hard to be a guy who dominates a lot of opponents.
It's a man against boys. I mean, this is just the story of every Jon Jones fight. He has proven many times that he is nearly unstoppable.
This is the story of Jon Bones Jones, a complex legacy of undeniable greatness and perpetual controversy. This is his golden era. Long before he became a UFC champion, Jonathan Dwight Jones was the middle child of a supremely athletic family, born in Rochester, New York on July 19, 1987. His father Arthur was a pastor who hoped John would follow him into the ministry, but the young Jones had different plans.
A little harder on me. You know, we looked a lot alike, and we had the same personality, so we would butt heads a lot. He was a guy who was so passionate about us succeeding in sports.
John was one of 3 boys in the Jones family. There was Arthur, John, and Chandler.
You know, I have 2 brothers in the NFL. I have my little brother, Chandler Jones, plays for the Cardinals. My older brother, Arthur Jones, plays for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm the middle as far as age, but when it comes to size, I'm the smallest by far of my brothers.
My freshman year wrestling, my record was 5-35.
I got my butt kicked when I was a lot younger. A kid named Leonard. He came over, double leg dived me. My head hit the concrete so hard that my eyes started watering. This guy ground and pounded me.
And I guess I just became really comfortable.
As a high school wrestler at Union Endicott High School, Jones showed exceptional talent, winning the New York State Division I title at 189 pounds in 2005. His coach nicknamed him Bones due to his lanky frame. After winning a NJCAA Wrestling National Championship at Iowa Central Community College, Jones dropped out of college to pursue MMA in 2008. Jones's meteoric rise was unprecedented. He made his professional debut in April 2008, and just 4 months later, he was fighting in the UFC on 2 weeks' notice as a replacement fighter. His unorthodox striking style and incredible wingspan immediately caught attention. Jones stormed through his early UFC competition with a unique blend of unorthodox strikes and creative grappling. But his first setback came in a controversial fight against Matt Hamill in December 2009.
He's got outstanding wrestling, great technique, great athleticism. Nice knee to the body. There it is, that's what I'm talking about. Beautiful takedown. Again, another one. Man.
Athletic, young,
Suplex.
dynamic, a Greco-Roman All-American.
This is where Bonner's really got to pour it on.
Oh my goodness, how good was this? Jones likes the throws.
Nice trip.
There's some full mount trouble for Matt Hamill.
Deep, deep trouble.
Big elbows from Johnny Bones Jones.
And Jones is trying to finish this fight, Mike.
Despite dominating the fight, Jones was disqualified for illegal 12-6 elbows, a ruling that UFC President Dana White disputed, calling it a terrible decision that should have been a no contest. This would remain the only loss on Jones's record throughout his career. Just over a year later, Jones got his title shot against feared champion Mauricio Shogun Rua at UFC 128. In a stunning performance, Jones dominated the champion and finished him in the 3rd round.
Big takedown. I guarantee you that Shogun, for the last 6 weeks, knew that he was probably going to get taken down. Power. Nice knee. Another one. Oh, Jones looking to tee off. There's the leg kick. And takes it. Big shot by Jones. Elbow. Jones made his professional fighting debut. Jon Jones is not allowing it. Nice short elbow again from Jones. Trying to dive under with that underhook, but it's so hard to do on a big... Vicious knee to the body and an uppercut. Jones to the body. And it is all over! Jon Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history!
At 23 years old, he became the youngest champion in UFC history.
UFC Light Heavyweight Champion John Bones Jones!
Incredibly, on the very day he would make history, Jones had already played the hero, foiling a robbery in Paterson, New Jersey, while out for a morning run with his coaches. It was the perfect beginning to what would become the most dominant light heavyweight reign in UFC history.
He's like, I'm in the passenger seat, Greg Jackson and Winklejohn's in the back seat. He's like, listen guys, before I drop you off here, I want to let you know this is a pretty bad neighborhood, so you might want to be careful. And I'm like, dude, we're all MMA guys. And he's like, well, I'm just letting you know, a lot of people get mugged here. Just as he said that, I turned to pull off my seatbelt. And the guy, I see an old Spanish couple like screaming, and they're like running. They look like they're out of breath big time. And I'm like, dude, they just got mugged. And he's like, no. And I'm like, maybe not, I'm tripping. And you just put that in my mind. So Mike Winklejohn hops out of the car and he's like, you guys okay? And then she's like, the guy he just broke my window open. And he took all my stuff and he's running. And so I'm like, what? So Mike Winklejohn, without hesitation, he just starts running, right? And I'm like, holy crap. And then Greg Jackson, he just starts running. And they both start running. So I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm like, okay, it's time for me to take action. So anyways, the guy, I'm like closing in on this guy about 20 yards away. And the guy's like, you can see that he's starting to get winded. So he's like, he got this stuff and he's running. And he looks back and he sees me, 6'4". You got Greg and Wink behind us. Yeah, Greg and Wink's behind me, and I'm just running like, I'm gonna catch you, right? So the guy looks back, and then he trips over his own foot. And so at the time he tripped over his own foot, I got so scared because I didn't know what I was gonna do when I actually caught him. So I actually started barking like, I'm gonna catch you,
What followed was arguably the most dominant championship run in UFC history. Jones successfully defended his title a record 11 times against a who's who of legendary fighters. His first true test came against Alexander Gustafsson at UFC 165 in 2013. In what many consider the greatest light heavyweight title fight ever, Jones was pushed to his absolute limits before prevailing by decision. The bout was so epic it was later inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, but no rivalry defined Jones's career more than his bitter feud with Daniel Cormier. Their animosity spilled out of the cage at a media event in August 2014, where they brawled in a hotel lobby, resulting in a $50,000 fine for Jones. For all his brilliance inside the octagon, Jones's career was perpetually overshadowed by controversies outside of it. Just one day after being featured on Forbes' 30 Under 30 list in 2015, it was revealed he had tested positive for cocaine metabolites before the Cormier fight.
The supplements that you've taken, nothing new? Are you saying that through this training camp there was no new products, no anything of any kind that you brought in?
Well, there's a few things that have nothing to do with performance that I've tried. And like I said, whatever it is, I can't even pronounce it. I've never even heard of it. So, I'm just now learning about it myself. And so right now I'm just going through and thinking about every single thing that I've taken leading up to the fight. And we're going through a process of getting everything figured out.
Months later, Jones was involved in a hit-and-run accident that injured a pregnant woman. He fled the scene on foot, leaving behind a rental car containing marijuana and paperwork with his name. The UFC responded by stripping him of his title and suspending him indefinitely.
Yeah, there's cash in here. And they said,
body water right here.
After a 15-month absence, Jones returned to win an interim title against Ovens St. Preux. But his comeback was again derailed when he failed drug tests before and after his UFC 214 victory over Cormier, a win that was overturned to a no contest. Through it all, Jones maintained his innocence in the doping cases, tearfully proclaiming at a press conference, Being labeled as a cheat hurts me more than anything else I've been through in my career. His supporters pointed to his never being finished in competition, while detractors questioned whether his accomplishments were tainted. After yet another suspension, Jones returned in December 2018 to reclaim his throne in emphatic fashion, stopping Gustafsson in their rematch.
Big difference in this fight has really been the leg kicks.
Good entry there by Jones.
Jones reaching back, maintains that position in half guard. Sliding that on through for the crucifix. Drops down a nasty elbow.
Now he's got a half Nelson here to keep Alex from
Bell out of here. Oh, big shots. Big shots by John Jones. Gustafsson's in trouble. That's it. Wow.
He successfully defended against Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos before vacating the title in 2020, announcing his move to heavyweight. For 3 years, the MMA world waited anxiously for Jones's heavyweight debut. When he finally returned at UFC 285 in March of 2023 against feared striker Cyril Gane, he made it look easy. What would be his final fight, Jones defended the heavyweight title against Stipe Miocic, widely considered the greatest heavyweight in UFC history. Jones stopped Miocic in the 3rd round, cementing his claim as not just the greatest light heavyweight, but potentially the greatest heavyweight too. When we examine the numbers, Jones's greatness is undeniable. 28-1, 1 NC professional record, longest unbeaten streak in UFC history, 18 fights. Most title fight wins in UFC history, 15. Most successful light heavyweight title defenses, 11. Youngest UFC champion in history, 23 years old. First fighter to beat 5 former UFC champions consecutively. But critics point to his frequent inactivity, only 3 fights in 5 years between 2020 and 2025, and his refusal to fight interim champion Tom Aspinall as tarnishing his final years. Even former rival Chael Sonnen has praised Jones's media work since retirement, calling it some of John's finest work.
And, I mean, it's just one of those things. If you're going to get there with John Jones, John is very good from a skill and technical standpoint. John is gritty as hell. He is a competitor and he's tough. And he doesn't get credit for that because it's not seen. What you see is the reach. You see the spin. You see the elbow. You see these different variations. And he just comes across as such a beautiful technician. But when the going gets tough, he's there. And if you're going to compare a guy and you're going to tell him that he's going to bring down John, there is a toughness factor that we need to see. And I don't say that to be critical of Tom. I say it to compliment.
Jones announced his retirement in June 2025 after defending his heavyweight title, seemingly walking away on his own terms. But typical of his unpredictable career, he has already teased a comeback, re-entering the USADA testing pool and potentially headlining a speculated UFC event at the White House.
Title away from him.
John Jones called us last night and retired. John Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Thank you very much.
John Jones's story is one of unparalleled brilliance and perpetual controversy. A fighter who seemed destined for greatness from his earliest days, who achieved more by age 23 than most fighters do in entire careers, but whose personal demons often overshadowed his athletic achievements. Love him or hate him, his impact on the sport is undeniable. He revolutionized techniques, dominated 2 divisions, and leaves behind a legacy that will be debated for generations. He is, without question, one of the most complex and compelling figures in combat sports history. What do you think? Is John Jones the greatest of all time? Or did his controversies outside the cage diminish his accomplishments inside it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into MMA's golden eras.